Hey guys, welcome to a video. I know you weren't expecting this to be posted, but this is just a performance guide for CS2. If you guys want to get better frames on like lower end hardware, like this tutorial is just for you. Now I'm gonna skip all this intro nonsense because I'm too lazy to edit this, so I'm just gonna jump right into the settings. So with settings, first you want to do to be honest, I don't keep this on as preference. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, this NVIDIA low latency reflex is really useful, I'd say. Well, for me at least. I don't really notice like much of a difference, but I'm pretty sure it boosts something. So that's the reason why I keep it on. Now, obviously you'll see my frames are consistent. That's just because I'm in a private match without any bots, without anyone. So obviously it's gonna be like this when there's a gunfire or someone shooting, or like let's say grenades going off, the frames are just gonna spike. So here's the settings I use. MSAA, keep that off because this anti-aliasing method really just chews up performance. Like it will eat up your GPU, like not literally, but it would eat up your usage. So you see how I'm at like 47, 44, around that range for GPU usage. If I keep it on, you see how it jumps to at least over 10% more. You don't want that if you're in an actual match, because what if your GPU is already maxing out and you can't output more frames? Global shadows, I just keep it low because I don't want to strain my GPUs much, because I really want to consistently hit 200 frames. Now, obviously we all don't have the same GPUs, but if you have this, at least one that's similar performance to mine, which is a 1660 Super, then yeah, you're gonna want to follow these. So dynamic shadows, you always got to keep that all. I mean, it's whatever, you can keep it off if you want, but the reason why I keep it on is you see the shadow here. If you keep it sun only, you won't see shadows. So sometimes if you want to get a competitive advantage, shadows like that are really useful and you really need that. Model detail doesn't make much of a performance. Texture filtering mode bilinear. Basically I keep it on this just so I don't know how to explain it fully, but if I have anti-aliasing, I mean, not, what was it, anisotropic, whatever, right? If I have that on, it sort of smooths it in, like the players into the environment a bit. So when you have bilinear, it sometimes makes them stand out a bit, you know? With shader detail, I keep that low just because lighting and stuff is very costly for performance. Particle detail, keep it on low because of like grenades and whatnot that spikes performance. Just keep ambient occlusion off. High dynamic range, keep down performance because it doesn't really make a difference if you're on quality of performance. This, never keep it on. Keep it always on disabled, because what this is basically AMD's FSR. If you don't know what FSR is, it's an upscaling method similar to DLSS. And what DLSS does is it just basically renders the frame of the game in a lower resolution and it upscales it to match whatever. But FSR is extremely inefficient compared to DLSS. So I'll show you what it looks like. If I have it on performance, it looks like absolutely buns, right? You see jagged edges everywhere. It just looks horrible. So please, don't even keep on quality. Just keep it off. You don't need this because this can actually introduce input delay. Slight, but you want to get the advantage you want, right? Now, with video aspect ratios, I'm on 4:3 purely for preference, okay? Note that this isn't for performance. This actually does give you better performance, but it's so minimal that it doesn't even matter. Like, you are not really going to notice. Like, at most, it's a few frames. So I'll show you like if you really want to min-max, go ahead, use it. But look, I'm gonna look here at Palace, right? Like, you see the edge of my camera is on like that part of Palace. If I go into my settings and go on 1920 by 1080, look how much more of Palace I can see. Widescreen is a really big disadvantage, so just like be wary if you do want to use widescreen, okay? Because it is not worth it. Like, if you really want to get the best advantage, I mean, a lot of pros use it, but a lot of pros use it because of preference. Now, obviously, I'm not stopping you from using it, but I'm just saying watch out for the competitive disadvantage if you do want to use widescreen. The advantage is that player models would generally look wider. So, like, I'm not going to change it to show, but I'm just going to say player models are wider. However, they're faster because they're stretched. If you want to boost performance, yeah, use you can use that. But just please keep it in mind that it barely makes a difference. Anyways, I'll walk around the map just to show you what these settings look like, because they're not that bad. I'll only do Mirage. I won't do the other maps because I don't want the video to be too long. But like, this is basically just what the entire map looks like with these settings on. You'll notice that it's not that bad. I mean, you'll notice the jagged edges a lot, but that's just basically because of me using widescreen. Widescreen isn't the best, I'd say, but it's alright. I mean, it's good for me just because it makes things feel more precise, but that's purely personal preference, I need to say again. But yeah. So I'll just show you my settings again. If you do want to copy them, go ahead. Just so you know, I have that like that because I cap my FPS with an external app. It's called Rivatuner. I'll show you. Hang on. There you go. So, oh, it's off. Actually, I have VSync from NVIDIA app or whatnot, I think. But the way I usually cap it is, if you download Rivatuner, which I download MSI Afterburner and it comes with Rivatuner. And what you want to do, put on your global thing, the highest refresh rate your monitor can output, minus 200 hertz. And this would give you a more steady frame graph, like instead of actually capping it manually inside of a game. And it's actually, I'd say it's better than using any in-game frame capping thing. This is just way better in general. Now, obviously, you can also change this while you're playing a game. So, like, if I cap my FPS at 20, I will only be on 20 FPS. So it is a very, very good tool because you can do it on the go or whatnot. You don't need to restart your apps or whatever to get better frames. I mean, not better frames. I mean, just to like uncap and whatnot. Now, one thing I need to stress, like, is the fact that you need to have a powerful enough CPU to actually be able to output such FPS, right? So, for example, many people on this like budget combo, the Ryzen 5 3600, I think, they're with that CPU. So, if you wanna get a higher frame rate, like let's say, oh, your GPU usage is quite low, but your CPU usage is generally higher, that's a CPU bottleneck there. That means your CPU isn't powerful enough to catch up with your GPU, right? So it won't be able to output a higher frame rate. So the only solution to that is to upgrade your CPU. And vice versa, if your CPU usage is quite low and your GPU usage is very high and you're still not getting the performance you want, it's sort of a bottleneck, but not really. It just means your CPU is generally like too powerful for your GPU. So then you would need a GPU upgrade. Now, Um, obviously, the way I maximize my FPS is just lowering my settings, right? But there's a lot more things you can do other than just lowering your settings. So for example, if you go on your PC and search up power plan. Hang on, sorry, this is taking quite a while. So choose a power plan. Now, I'm on balance. That's just because I don't want my PC, like all the components to be at like max clock speed when I'm not really needing it, right? So that just like keeps it generally balanced, right? As said in the name. High performance, it is purely choice. If you want to try like min-max, get as much performance as you want. But yeah, as this says, it uses more energy. So be careful about that. If you're on a laptop, just keep it on balance. If you're charging, you can keep it on high performance if you want. But generally on balance, it is a good plan. Now, a lot of laptop settings may not have this high performance thing because they have like this manufacturer plan. And yeah, that's normal. You can search up Chris Titus power plan and like it will give you a PowerShell command prompt that you can type in. And if you go to tweaks or whatnot in there, you can add the power plan, and this is what it will show here: Chris Titus Ultimate Power Plan. This is similar to high performance. If your laptop doesn't allow high performance, you can do that if you want. Just please remember that this will eat up your battery usage. Okay. So this, I just keep it like that because I'm not spending that. I don't want to spend that much on electricity. This is just to conserve my electric bills and whatnot. But yeah, that's basically it for the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I really hope it helped you with any frames or whatever. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.